Hello and welcome to One Stop Co-op Shop Streamed, your one stop for co-op news and playthroughs. And today I'm playing through Ant-Man Aggression. I'm running the Gauntlet today. So this is a very special deck to me because my daughter loves the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. So this is a deck that I've played a lot with her. So it makes me very happy. This is one of those warm fuzzy decks. So I also built this deck to be used not only solo, but if you just watched our play on Friday night, I played through that multiplayer as well. So I played it with Terrence. He was Wasp, and we played against Taskmaster. Taskmaster hates when you flip, and Ant-Man is all about flipping. So he has a lot of. He doesn't hate when you flip. I'm sorry. He gives a lot of hate to characters who flip a lot. And Ant-Man likes to do that. So we're going to start. If you haven't been part of our Running the Gauntlet series before, we start with Rhino Bomb Scare. So we start at the very, very beginning. We're playing on Expert, and we're going to try to play through and see how far we can get, how many wins in a row we can get. So let's get started today. So this aggression deck is just that. It's very aggressive. Hopefully I'll be able to win pretty early on some of these games and get more games in for you. I'm hoping to get 3. More than 3 is a stretch to play in one day. So let's go ahead and draw up my starting hand. If you don't know much about Ant-Man, he has 3 forms. So he and Wasp are the only 2 that have 3 forms right now. So he's got his alter ego form as usual. He's got his tiny Avenger form, and he's got his giant Ant-Man Avenger form. So when he switches forms, he tends to just do something right away, and it's kind of a one-stop thing. So when he goes to alter ego, he heals 1. When he goes to tiny form, he removes a threat from a scheme. And when he goes to giant form, he does 1 damage to an enemy. So he's kind of a nice, can do a little bit of everything, and his cards kind of play to those forms as well. Wow, 2 skilled strikes in the opening hand, combat training in the opening hand, Pim particles in the opening hand, Hive Mind. I probably won't use Hive Mind, and I probably won't use my skilled strikes. I'm trying to get stuff out. This deck does have a decent... I know, that would be a ton of damage on turn 1. That is hard to turn down. You know what? Maybe I play a little different today. Well, the problem is this side scheme right here. I'd like to thwart this down just so I don't have to deal with that. I mean, the other option is I just go all out aggressive turn 1 and just smack him in the face. Nah. You guys know me. I like to play a little bit more conservatively than that. By the way, hey, I can hopefully see the chat today. Sorry about last week. Actually, let me double check, see if there's anything in the chat that I'm missing. Okay. So I do have a way to see the chat this week. I had it. Oh, Army Ants. That's what I was really hoping for. Sweet. Oh my gosh. This is the exact opening hand if I could ask for that I would get. All right. So first things first, I'm going to go to tiny form. Why am I going to tiny form? Well, again, that removes the threat from the scheme. Then I can thwart for 2 on tiny as well. So I'm going to remove this last 2 threat. Let's get rid of break-in and take-in right off the bat. Oh my gosh, I didn't even flip this over. So Rhino, I'm sure most of you know, but Rhino is a villain that you got to be real careful of his scheme because he only has 7. Once that 7's over, you lose, and he's somebody that hits real hard, but he doesn't have a lot of allies. All right, so I am going to go ahead and play this energy to get combat training, which gives me +1 to my attack. Then I am going to play... let's play Pim Particles, because Pim Particles is it's just a 1 resource card, but after you spend it, you can heal 2 if you're on your giant side, or draw a card if you're on your tiny side. So let's draw a card. I'm going to use that to play Army of Ants. Oh, team building exercise I really want as well, because that lets me play things like Army of Ants for free. Yeah, if I had had that earlier, this would be a little bit different. I'm going to hold it in my hand, though. I am going to get a second Army of Ants out. So what is Army of Ants? Hero action. If you're in tiny form, exhaust it to deal damage to the enemy. Well, guess what? That's 2 damage to the enemy right there. Boom, boom. All right, let's ready up. I'm only going to draw 4 cards because on tiny size, I have a hand size of 5. Ooh, Helicarrier, team building, power in all of us, and lockjaw, and downtime. So I think I'm going to be building up some resources for this next turn. All right, so villain turn. First thing we do is add 1 threat to the scheme. Then he is going to attack me, and I think I will just take this attack. So he's attacking for 3, and then another 1. So for those of you new to the game, on the bottom right of the card, you'll see there's one symbol there, and that shows that he is going to attack for 1 additional damage. Sorry, I can't remember for the life of me what that symbol's called right now. Anybody in the chat want to help me? A boost icon. That's what it's called. Sorry, I got there. It's it's a little early still. So he attacked me for 3 plus 1 from the boost icon. That's going to be 4 damage. And you'll see that a lot, that Rhino just likes to damage over and over and over. I'm tough. When revealed, give him the tough status card. If he already has it, then get Surge. All right, so tough, what tough does, again, I'll make this one a little bit more basic playthrough. So what tough does is the next time this character would take any amount of damage, you just remove tough instead. It's hard when you got like stuff that does 8 damage, things like that. You really want to hurt them, but that'll take all 8 of that damage. But where I am right now is a pretty good spot, because remember Army Ants just deals 1 damage? Well, that's going to get rid of that tough card. So there goes tough. All right, let's see how I can do this to get both cards out. Okay, pretty easy. So that's power in all of us, and downtime will go away to get my helicarrier out. Then I'm going to use my helicarrier and lockjaw to get team building exercise out. So helicarrier, exhaust it and choose a player, reduce the cost of the next card played by 1. So this card costs 3. Power in all of us gives you a second resource if you're paying for a gray basic card, which this was. So that was 3 resources to pay for that. And then I'm using this and lockjaw to pay for team building exercise, which lets me exhaust it to pay for a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero. So I have tiny and giant, so there's a lot of that in this deck. Like for example, Army Vance is tiny. That would have let me play that for free. But I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more damage. So I'm not going to get to use team building exercise, but trust me, I'm also Avenger, and there's some Avengers in this deck. So now I'm going to giant form. Remember, when I switch to giant form, I get to plink for a damage, and I am +1 attack. So instead of 3 attack in giant form, I am 4 attack, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Alrighty. So that is that. Pretty easy. Now the negative of giant form is you only have a hand size of 4, so I'm only getting 4 cards. The nice part though is with team building exercise and helicarrier, I will be able to pay for more than I normally would. Ooh, 2 team building exercises would be nice, and Ironheart lets me draw cards. So yeah, I've got a plan for next turn as well, where I'm going to get a second team building exercise out and both of my allies, I think. As long as I'm thinking correctly, this could be a good turn. So having allies out will be really helpful, and so because of that, I think I'm going to block this time. All right, so first things first, we add a threat to the scheme though. Then he's going to attack for 3. I am going to defend. So if you notice that green number on the bottom left over there, that's defense of 3. He attacks for 3, I defend for 3, so I'm going to block all of it, except for whatever comes up as boost icons, which is 1 more. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1 damage there. Then at the end of the turn, I grab a threat card and see what it does. Rhino heals 4 damage. If he wasn't healed, wait. If no damage was healed, the card gains Surge, which means I just draw another one. But he was hurt, so let's go ahead and take that 4 damage. So this is some of the fun stuff that you can do with Ant-Man decks. You can do a lot of drawing of cards and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and play team building exercise for 2 resources here. It costs 2, that number in the upper left. And then to pay for Ironheart. Oh, Ironheart is not an Avenger. Well, that won't work at all. Huh. Never mind. I thought I was going to get both of these cards out. That might not happen. So actually, I may just I may have to do it in a different order to make it happen. Yeah, team building might not be able to get out this turn. I was excited because I forgot Ironheart is not a champion. All right, so when I put her in... Oh, no, I don't want to do it in that order, though. You know what? I am going to put team building exercise out. I'm not going to worry about Ironheart. I'm going to spend 2 resources to put Hulk down. Hulk's going to smash because Hulk likes to smash. So Hulk smashes for 3 damage. Now, whenever you attack... You'll notice that number on there, or there's a little star under that attack icon. That means that Hulk is going to take a damage when he does that action. So he's going to take 1 damage, but he is going to smash for 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then whenever Hulk attacks, force response. After Hulk attacks, discard the top card of your deck, and you're looking for icons. So that was a lightning bolt icon. Lightning bolt, if you notice on the bottom, says deal 1 damage to each character. Guess what? That includes Hulk. Hulk even smashes himself. Alright, so that's 3 damage, and then I already did the 3 damage from Hulk. Unfortunately, not going to get Ironheart out this turn. I am going to flip down to my Tiny form over here, to Tiny Avenger. That will let me take 1 threat off the scheme, and then do 2 more damage over here, and lets me draw up to 5 cards. So, seems pretty good. I've got a nice engine going over here. Got these army ants. I even have somebody to defend for me if I need to. So let's see what I draw this turn, and that'll kind of help inform my decisions for where I'm going to go. Ooh, I got a resize, which is great. Change form and draw a card. Oh, and Fury, which will let me do 3, and Giant Stomp, which is amazing. Deal 8 damage. 1 to a minion and 8 to a target of your choice. So I've got a lot of stuff I want to play here. It's going to be hard because I don't have enough resources to do everything I want. So Fury is probably going to get pushed to the side here, sadly, even though he's really good, because even though he is a force response, after he enters play, choose 1, remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. At the end of the round, if Nick Fury is still in play, discard him. So he only lasts for 1 round, but that ability to draw 3 cards basically lets you cycle through your deck pretty quickly, and it makes him only cost 1, really, at the end of the day. Alright, so I did add 1 threat to the scheme. Now he's going to attack. Do I hit this with 1 of... Yeah, you know, I don't need to attack myself this turn. So I am going to defend for 2. He attacks for 3. So nothing else. So just 1 damage here. And then we'll draw our threat card. And I'm going to start going through a little bit faster. That is a scheme that I would have loved to not been away from. So when revealed, place an additional 1 per player here. So that's up to 3. Yep, and acceleration means this is going to go up 2 next turn. That may change things a little bit. I'd love to Giant Stomp, but maybe I do get Fury out to help with some of this threat. And I have Resize to bring me back down to small. Oh, it's so hard not to use like some of this good stuff here. Alright, so to pay for Fury, that would be 1. Sadly, 2. Do I get rid of Resize? Yeah, I mean, it's just going to replace itself, right? So I'm not going to worry about Resize this turn. That'll be 3. Now I play Fury out. Wait. Is that 3 or 4? That's only 3. Darn it, I need 1 more. So I got to get rid of Army of Ants or Giant Stomp. As much as I love Army of Ants, sorry, it's going to be Giant Stomp. So now I do get to draw 3 more cards. Oh, I got to resize. Oh, I got my helmet. All right. Helmet is super important. Now it's armor tech, so again, I cannot use... Oh, and Giant Strength is pretty good too. When I change to Giant form, I get +1 attack. I have some resize. I've got some stuff going on. Maybe resize will let me draw into a double resource. All right, but I am going to thwart for 2. And actually, that kind of saved me messing up there and discarding my resize, because I kind of need resize to get back to tiny form. You'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to go to giant size real quick. And when I go to giant size, I do 1 damage. So we'll do that here. And then I am going to use team building exercise to play this card, because it's condition giant. After you change form to giant, you get +1 attack till the end of the turn. So I don't get that now because I already changed to giant form. But I am going to resize to go back down to my smaller size here. Boink, which will remove a threat from the scheme, which will remove this one over here. And then I get to draw a card. Oh, that is a double resource. Oh, so Giant Helmet's so good. After you change to Giant form, heal 2 damage. After you change to Tiny form, draw a card. Oh, do I get rid of Giant Stomp to put that in, or do I just hang on to these 3 cards? You know, I'm going to hang on to these 3 cards and just do it this way. All right, Hulk's going to attack and smash for 1, 2, 3. Actually, well, I got to draw a card. See what happens. 2 more damage. Yeah, I did that a little bit wrong. I could have had 1 more damage, but that's okay. I'm going to advance. When I advance, he becomes tough. So I guess it wouldn't have much mattered anyway. So, oh, I'm sorry. What Fist does is deal 2 damage to an enemy. Of course, I chose him. All right, so 1, 2, First one gets rid of tough status cards. Second one plinks for 1, which is good because you don't, even though you don't think about it, there are a lot of cards like that one earlier that heals them, and if that can't heal, then they draw another card. Well, even that 1 damage helps because it knocks them down a little bit. So makes me very happy. All right. Well, I am pretty set up, and so Ant-Man's helmet, what's great, after you change the giant form, you heal 2 damage, and after you change the tiny form, you draw a card. And as you've seen, Ant-Man loves to flip anyway. So yeah, that's a really good one. And then Pim Particles, after you spend this card, heal 2 damage from your hero if you're in giant form, or draw a card in tiny form. So I may use that to draw a card while I'm in tiny form to get my helmet out, which would then hopefully help me get another card to pay for Giant Stomp, because I think I'm going to need it. All right, so let's see where we're at. We're going to add a threat to the scheme. We're going to have him attack. I'm going to block with Nick Fury. He's going to boost, so he attacks for 4, plus 1 is 5, but it doesn't matter. Fury has 3 life, but even if we add 5 damage here, doesn't matter. None of that splashes over unless they have something called Overkill. I think it is. No, I'm probably wrong there, but bottom line is that damage does not carry over to me, so that is called chump blocking. If you've ever heard of somebody say chump blocking in the game, that means you block with one of your allies and they take all the damage, even to excess. All right, so let's see. Now we're gonna draw another card and see what happens. Explosion. If Bomb Scare is in play, assign X damage to heroes and allies, where X is the amount of threat still on Bomb Scare. Bomb Scare is not in play. This card gains Surge. So again, Surge means you get rid of it. Remember, we just got rid of Bomb Scare, so not only did we get rid of the acceleration, but it also took care of that. So let's go ahead and draw this. And I don't remember if I removed a threat from the scheme when I flipped over or not, but we'll say I did. One revealed Rhino attacks you. If this character is damaged by this attack, this character is stunned. Okay, so I could let him hit me, but I don't want to be stunned, and I don't think I can take his attack. So I'm going to block with Hulk. Let's boost that attack, and he does 5 total damage. That means 5 more to Hulk. Goodbye, Hulk. So that is Rhino's turn. Back to me. All right, so this is an interesting choice here because I've got Giant Stomp, which will do 8 damage, which will nearly kill him. I've got my helmet, which will let me heal when I flip over, and Pim Particles will also potentially let me heal. But I also have Mockingbird, which stuns him, meaning he won't be able to attack, and I got a block, which is probably the safest play here. Unfortunately, again, I got these 2 team building exercises, but not, unfortunately, that helpful. This is a tough one. This is a tough one because I really like my helmet, but I think Mockingbird is going to save me more than my helmet. So let me go ahead and play 1, 2, 3. And when I play Pim Particles on my tiny size, I do get to draw a card. So I'm hoping for double resource. That's Wasp. All right. So not a double resource, but that puts her into play, and I'm going to stun Rhino. As much as I love that helmet, I don't think I can afford it right now. All right, then I'm going to do 2 damage over here. 1, 2. I'm going to do 1 more damage with Mockingbird. That's 1. And then, yeah, I think I'm just going to keep going with the bashiness. So I go to giant form, which lets me do 1 more point of damage. Then I am going to attack. So I attack for 3 base. I get 1 more for combat training. And because I just changed to giant form, I get 1 more. So that's a total of 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to giant stomp. So 1, 2, because it is a giant card. And I can discard Wasp for 3. Giant Stomp's amazing. It does play only if you're in giant form, which I am. Deal 1 damage to each minion, no minions, and deal 8 damage to the enemy. Boom. 8 from 6. Leaves nothing. Alright, so there's first part of the gauntlet down. That's Rhino. I'm going to start playing it quicker through the next couple of rounds because you've already seen the deck a little bit. You've already kind of understood what a lot of the stuff does. But don't hesitate to slow me down if you have any questions for me, and we will go from there. Alright, I'm just going to load an autosave. I was smarter this time, so I don't have to like reload everything. Hopefully I'm smarter anyway. So I've already got my hero deck set up, everything else. Oh, I didn't want to do autosave. Maybe I'm not smarter. I meant to do Ant-Man. There you go. So that loads it right into Ant-Man. And now, hopefully, I don't have to set everything up. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. All right. So we got through Rhino. Let's move on to Claw. So Claw is it's a nice second villain to go to. So Masters of Evil, it definitely brings up the difficulty quite a bit from Rhino. Certainly starting with all this stuff in play, Defensive Network, Immortal Claw. So Immortal Claw not only adds an acceleration, but 10 hit points to the villain as well. So when I flip this over, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Hopefully not a Master of Evil to start the game. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player. Oh, that's an advance. That's good. Get rid of that, which would add threat to, that's adding threat to the scheme, which doesn't make me happy. Alrighty, come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, not terrible. Guard and Tough. So he does come into play Tough. I always forget that with him, so make sure to not forget this time. Alright, so as we saw last time, I can threat 3 off. I'm going to get rid of Immortal Claw right off the bat, no matter what I draw here. Make sure this is shuffled too. I think I did, but alright. So let's draw 6 cards, see what we got for an opening hand. We got a resize. We got an army of ants. Oh, resize. No. Oh, we got a wasp. We got a lockjaw. Alright, lockjaw is easy one to get rid of because lockjaw can be played from my discard pile. Hive Mind would remove 2 threat, plus 1 threat for each army of ants I have, which is kind of nice, but I don't think I can afford it on this first turn. You know what? I'm going to get rid of Resize, even though it's a fun card. It's a good card. It pays for itself again, but I'm going to try to draw into some double resources because I'd love to get Wasp out. You know what? No, I'm getting rid of Wasp too. I'm just keeping my army of ants and going from there. I'm going to draw up. There you go, Helicarrier. That's part of what I was hoping for there. Something to help pay for, or help with my resource generation. I also have Ironheart. Don't think I'm going to be able to get her out, but that's okay. All right, so first things first, I'm going to Tiny Form. That removes 1 threat from the scheme. Just to simplify things, I am going to remove the last 2 threat from that scheme. I do not want an acceleration token on turn 1, and that also does 8 points of damage effectively, because he only has 18, but Immortal Claw gives him 10 more, so it's basically effectively 10 points of damage as well. Alright, I need to get this Helicarrier out, and that's really the only thing I care about. I mean, I will get an army of ants out as well, so let's see. I'm just going to start 1, 2, 3 to get Helicarrier out. And Helicarrier will pay for army of ants. Army of ants will plink Tough off of this armored guard. And that's going to be it for turn 1. I'm going to hold on to this other army of ants, and we will go from there. Might have been smarter to hold on to an ally, but nah. I'll stick with the way I went, and we will draw 4 cards. Ooh, Quincarrier, Nick Fury, my helmet. Oh my gosh. This is a lot of stuff that I don't want to get rid of, but I'm going to have to get rid of some stuff. So Quincarrier gives me a resource every turn. Yep. All right. So add 1 threat to the scheme. Claw is going to attack. Now Claw adds 2 boosts when he attacks. I am not going to defend. So he attacks me for 1 and then 2 boost cards. The first one is +1, so that's 2 damage. The next one's +2. So for a total of 4 damage. This looks familiar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Although I am also going to get attacked by the armor guard for 1. Alright, and then we draw our threat card and see what happens. Oh, another armored guard. That's nice. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Of all these things, what am I going to prioritize here? Fury would let me draw more, but I don't think I want to get rid of my helmet this early in the game. It seems too good of a play. I mean, Quincarrier is really good too. These are all really good plays. As much as I hate to say it, I love Army of Ants, but gosh, I think that's the one I'm going to have to get rid of. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see. If I get rid of Hulk, Quincarrier, and Army of Ants, I could get out Fury, which would let me draw 3 cards. So that's what I'm going to do. So Helicarrier, Army of Ants, Quincarrier, and Hulk all go away to get out Fury, which then lets me draw 3 cards. And alright, so this would be Power on All of Us is 2 resources, but only for a gray card. And this is an Ant-Man card, not a gray basic card, which Endurance would be. Endurance would be another good one. Giant Strength would be another good one to get out, but I think I'm going to prioritize my helmet. Alright, so Army of Ants, I am going to plink the Armored Guard, and then Fury is going to do 2 more to the Armored Guard to get rid of the Armored Guard. Fury takes 1 damage, although if you remember, he goes away at the end of the turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3 resources to get this helmet out. This helmet's just too good. When you change to giant form, you heal for 2. When you change to tiny form, you draw a card. Makes resizes, lets you draw 2 cards by going back to tiny form. Yeah, it's just too good to ignore. So I am going to go ahead and jump to giant form right now, which lets me do 1 damage to an enemy. So we'll plink that tough status card right off. And that's going to be that. Oh, when I went to giant form, I get 2 hit points back. So sad I'm only going to get 4 cards on my next turn. Wow, 2 of them are double resources though, and I have Giant Stomp and Skilled Strike. I don't need both double resources, as we'll see in a second, but maybe one of them when I go to tiny form will help me pay for something. So we will see. Alright, but first things first, we'll add a threat to the scheme. Then we're going to have him attack. I am going to block with Nick Fury because Nick Fury is going away anyway. Attack for 1, plus 1 is 2. Plus a star. Exhaust each ally you control. Well, good thing I block with Fury anyway. I don't have any allies, so that little star icon means you just read what's under the line there, and it's so you don't. There's a star on the top and a star on the bottom. I know it's a little confusing. The star on the top actually goes with their attack. You'll see there's a little star next to the attack. Star on the bottom goes with the where it says boost on the bottom. So exhaust each ally you control, but don't need to exhaust any allies because my only ally is dead. He actually only did 2 damage there. Fury almost lived through that, although he'd be discarded at the end of the turn anyway. Alright, now this Armored Guard is going to attack me for 1 more damage. Now, Guard, what that means is I can't do any damage to the villain until I get rid of this Guard first. So something like Giant Stomp isn't great in this situation because I'd have to do all 8 damage to the Guard. So I almost have to hit it first with myself and then flip, then do Giant Stomp. But before I do that, I still have a card to deal with. Ooh, attach to Claw. After Claw attacks and damages a character, stun that character. I don't love that, and then you got to remove 1 of every resource to get rid of it. Wow. And I mean, it's +1 to attack and that, which is not great. But, do I spend my whole turn basically getting rid of that? And not giant stomping? I don't think I want to do that. That doesn't make me happy. Alright, well, first things first is I'm going to attack the Armored Guard. This would stomp me, though. Or, stomp me. This would stun me. And I would lose Giant Stomp. Gosh, this is one of those tough choices in the game. I think I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to hope to get an ally or something. I mean, that's a real big hope when I flip. I don't think it's going to happen. But I still think I want a Giant Stomp. Oh, this is so tough. This is one of those choices that makes the game fantastic in my mind. I mean, 8 damage now, or I got to get rid of basically these 3 cards to get rid of this. This is +1 damage and going to keep stunning me the rest of the game. I want to burn them down fast, but I'm not going to be able to do that with those cards out. So believe it or not, I am discarding all 3 of these cards to get rid of this. I'm playing what I believe to be smarter and more conservative here. So I'm going to go to tiny form. When I go to tiny form, don't forget, I can remove a threat from scheme, and because of my helmet, I also get to draw a card. Another Giant Stomp. Oh, that's okay. I mean, it's good to have that Giant Stomp. All right, and I'm going to plink for 1 damage here. So that way, if they get that healing card, we'll be okay. That's tough. All right, I'm just going to keep all those resources. I'm going to ready myself. That's a tough choice to make, but I think it's the right call. I mean, I know it's the right call. It's just a tough one. Ooh, 2 Pim Particles. What that means is when I go to giant form, I'm actually going to be able to heal myself pretty good. So I'm not going to worry too much about taking damage right here. So I'm going to take a damage. Or not take a damage. I'm going to add a threat to the scheme. I'm just going to take this, no blocking. So that does a boost effect. We'll see what that does. Oh, he only hits me for 1. It's not the worst thing in the world. Discard a card at random from your hand. Please don't be Giant Stomp. Please don't be Giant Stomp. Please don't be Giant Stomp. In fact, one of those pin particles can go away, and I will be just happy. There we go. Boom. Called it. Nice. All right. So now I just need to draw a threat card. All right. I'm in a very, very happy place, I think. When revealed, either spend one of each resource or exhaust each character you control. You know what? That's not the worst thing in the world. I don't need to attack this turn. I will just exhaust myself. It's way better than spending all those resources. So we will start up my turn, and I'm going to start with Army Ants, because why wouldn't I? Doing 1 damage. Then I am going to flip to Giant form. When I do so, I deal 1 damage. Then I am going to Giant Stomp, so spending 1, 2... Oh, I'm sorry. I do heal 2 when I go to Giant form. I'm going to spend 1, 2... Sure, I'll spend my Pin Particles to heal 2 more damage, because I'm in Giant form, to Giant Stomp. And that will do 8 damage. Knocking him down to 7. Sweet! Love me some Giant Stomp. Then, because I can easily enough, I will pay for downtime, which lets me recover an extra 2 when I am recovering. So, we will draw 4 cards. And, oop, there's Team Building Exercise, Army Ants, Combat Training, Surprise Attack. Wow. Again, a lot of good cards. Can't pay for them all. So we will see what we pay for. I'm going to use Surprise Attack to get Team Building. Oh, Surprise Attack, yeah, it's just 4 damage. Yep, alright, so anyway. Add 1 threat to scheme. I'm going to need to start thwarting at some point too here, because this is almost done, and I don't necessarily want to accelerate to the end game that fast. But we will just take this attack, because I think I'm going to, well, maybe I won't thwart. We'll see. I am going to get to draw a card too, so I got that going for me. I'm just going to take this attack. So that's +2, but you know what? Shadows of the Past, one of the worst cards in the game. I'm not sad to get rid of it. And then deal 1 damage to each hero. Alright, so that is a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. And then I will draw a threat card and go from there. Now, I'm wondering, is the chat just super quiet today? It is, because last time I had problems with the chat and realized I had a ton of comments and never saw it. So that's okay. It's Sunday morning. I understand being a little quiet today. You may flip to your alter ego and exhaust myself to remove Care for Casey from the game. Or choose and discard a card from your hand. You cannot change form until your next turn ends. So I'm not going to do that. So I will go to Scott Lang form, which again, after you change form, heal 1. So I will do that. And then I will exhaust 2. That removes it from the game. That doesn't just discard it. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not exactly what I wanted to do, but hey, a free heal. I'm not going to necessarily complain about that either. That does mean I'm not going to be able to get rid of Defense Network this turn, but that's all right. I'm going to deal with, I'll deal with that. All right, so now this doesn't do anything when I change to that form, but when I change to Tiny form, not only do I get to remove a threat from the scheme, but I also get to draw a card. So let's go ahead and do that and see what it gets. Ooh, Spider Girl. She gets to exhaust and confuse a minion, which is good. She also has a +1 thwart. That would help me get rid of that. And she could chump block for me. And I'm kind of feeling like I would like her to do that. She is an Avenger too, so if I get Team Building Exercise out, I will be able to use Team Building Exercise to pay for her. So I'm going to do Surprise Attack and Helicarrier to get Team Building Exercise out. And then I'm going to have to make a choice here. Combat Training or Army Ants. That's not a hard choice for me. I love Army Ants, and Team Building Exercise will be able to pay for it by itself next turn. So it's 1 resource, 2, because Spider-Girl is an Avenger. Now there are no minions to stun and confuse, but that's okay. She's going to attack. I'm not, 1 threat there. You know what? She's going to thwart. I hate to use her for that, but that gets rid of that. So what that crisis icon means is I could not remove threat from the main scheme. So unfortunately, even though she is 2 attack and only 1 for thwarting here, and either way she's going to take a damage, that 1 thwart I think is more important than the 2 damage right now for me. Well, let's take 1 damage. There's a little happiness in that at least. All right, So we are going to ready everything up. I'm going to draw 4 more cards. I'm definitely keeping an army of ants. Ooh, another team building exercise. I don't actually have both team building exercises so I can play both of them. I just have them so I can have at least one in play. I don't really feel like I need 2. So I probably will use that to pay for something. Maybe something like surprise attack, which will let me do 4 damage, which would make me happy. All right, so we're going to add 1 threat to the scheme. We're going to have claw attack. Yeah, I'll block with Spider Girl. So that's 1 damage, 2, 3 damage. And put Weapons Runner into play engaged with you. Alright, so 3 damage. I don't know if that was worth it to prevent. I would have had 2 done to him, but that's okay. Now, Weapons Runner does get to attack me for his 1 damage. Now you notice here it says Surge after this card's revealed. Reveal 1 additional encounter card, but that's only when it's revealed as an encounter card here, not when it is revealed as part of a boost or brought into play for its boost action. So you never have to do like what's above and below the line. We're just doing what's below, which is the boost, which is putting them into play. All right, so we are going to go ahead and draw another encounter card now. Flip it over. Ooh, and a Master of Evil. After Tiger Shark attacks, give him the tough status card. Do not love that. Do not love that at all. All right, so we've got threat to deal with because 1 more threat, and we go to the next part of the scheme. We've got Tiger Shark to deal with. None of this makes me happy at all. I have Army Ants to help me a little bit deal with stuff, and I do have Skilled Strike, +2 attack. So yeah, let's do things one at a time. All right, I'm gonna put my army of ants out. Then we're gonna go ahead and do 2 attacks to get rid of this. But if I skilled strike, so hold on, maybe not, because if I skilled strike, that means I have to attack, but then I don't get to thwart this, and then we're gonna get advanced. Although I do have Mockingbird. I'm not going to be able to pay for all of this. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to... I don't want the threat or the scheme to advance. So I'm going to do 2 here. So I can either pay for Mockingbird or surprise attack. Surprise attack will... along with these 2 army ants, let me kill Tiger Shark. Mockingbird would make sure I don't take a bunch of damage, but actually I'm going to keep Mockingbird in my hand. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do 2 damage to Tiger Shark with my 2 army ants. Then I am going to... Oh, yeah, I am going to get 1 more damage here anyway. Flip to giant form, which will add 1 damage over here. Then I'm going to pay for surprise attack, which does 4 damage. I'm going to have to pay for that with team building exercise. Yeah. All right, so that does 4 damage. So that gets rid of Tiger Shark. And I'm sitting on Skilled Strike and Mockingbird. Oh, I would have healed 2 also when I went to giant form because of this, and I did the 1 damage. You know what? I'm going to not do that. I'm going to pay for, that's still a fist, to pay for surprise attack. And I'm going to go ahead and put the second team building exercise into play, even though I said it's not that important. It's still extra resources. I mean, it's still, watch, it's going to be the key play to this game right now. All right, so let me go ahead and ready everything up. I am going to draw 4 cards, and we will see what happens. Risk Gauntlets I really like. Yep, we will play Risk Gauntlets, and we will see how that works. And Brawn, I cannot play. All right, so add 1 threat to the scheme. Gonna attack me. I'm just gonna take it. 1 boost. Oh my gosh, that's +3. Should have blocked maybe. 5, 6 total damage. That's not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the weapons runner is going to attack me for 1 more. Please don't be an attack. The villain schemes. So that's scheme of 2 plus 1 more, which is 3 more. Gosh, All right, well, getting all that out of the way. So that well goes over the 6th threshold here, which, when revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion's discarded. Put the minion in play, engage with the first player. Okay, and then only 8 before we lose. So this is not great. So let's do another weapons run. Oh. Okay, so the reason I sighed there is because the deck is empty, which would have meant we would have stopped drawing cards, but now we do, still have to add the weapons runner into play and take this card. That doesn't make me happy. If there was no minions in the bottom there, then we would have just gotten the acceleration and reshuffled their deck. But now I also got the weapons runner. Not that the weapons runner is the worst thing in the world, but it definitely changes things. Excuse me. I would love to get Risk Gauntlets into play, because Risk Gauntlets lets me, in giant form, it lets me exhaust it, spend 2 to stun the enemy. And I can just keep doing that over and over and over. Feels too good not to do, but then I won't be able to get Brawn into play. And Brawn is pretty good. After attacks, remove a threat from the scheme, which we don't need to do right now. But again, it's 1 damage all over and over, plus 1 thwart. I don't have to get rid of him, though. So here's what I'm going to do. To pay for the Risk Gauntlets, I am going to use the Helicarrier. So that'll put Risk Gauntlets into play. Then I'm going to exhaust it and need 2 fists. So there's 1 fist and a wild resource over here to go ahead and stun Claw. That will let me stay alive a little bit longer to do my flipping and other things I need to do. So let's go ahead and flip. That lets me remove a threat from the scheme, but there is no threat to be removed, but it also lets me draw cards. So let's see what I draw into. Ooh, Giant Strength. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I can't use my team building exercise to pay for Giant Strength, so I'd have to use Brawn. I don't know that I want to do that. But yeah, I also don't want to sit on these cards. So again, Giant Strength, whenever I go to Giant form, I'm going to do +1 damage. I'm going to just do my wimpy little attack for 1 here to get rid of 1 weapons runner, and these army ants will get rid of the other one. So no more weapons runners. And I got a clean board again. We'll see, because I'm pretty hurt over here, so if he gets an attack event, I'm in trouble. But so I draw 1 card. Oh, that's another threat that I got to deal with. Yep, we'll see how this goes. This might be a quick running the gauntlet. Lots of resources and not a lot of stuff to pay for, although Hive Mind is pretty decent to remove a lot of threat, but there isn't a lot of threat, so hopefully I get a side scheme or something. Alright, so first things first, add 2 threats to the main scheme because of the acceleration token, stunned, so that's nothing, and then we'll deal with these 2 event cards. So the first one, attached to Claw. He gains Retaliate 1 after this character is attacked, deal damage to the attacking character. You can spend 1 of each type to get rid of it. Well, I don't have a great hand anyway. Weapons Runner comes in front of me and surges. Take 2 damage, Claw heals 2. Well, that's it. That is me being dead. There's nothing I can do about this. It doesn't say attacks for 2. I can't block. Yeah, that is it. That is the end of my gauntlet. Are you kidding me? Died to a sound manipulation. Unbelievable. Well, this was not good. I mean, Ant-Man should be able to take care of Claw pretty easily. I don't know. I guess I made some bad calls early on. Because, yeah, I mean, getting down to 2 life is always bad. Maybe I should have played more conservatively. I was counting on that stun and counting on my ability to heal 2 using Ant-Man's helmet. So I just played it too close. I say I'm playing conservatively, but I really am not. Living on the edge with 2 life when he could attack me. Last turn, I guess I should have just flipped and dealt with the threat. It's hard, right? Because then if they get an advance, you could lose that way. So, can't believe it. I really thought I was going to go far with this deck, but not so much today. So this is a quick one. Man, I have not gotten past Ultron when running the gauntlet so far. It's, I don't know, maybe it's me. I feel like I'm playing pretty well, and I've got decks that I certainly have success with when I'm not playing in this format, but getting it to come together. I mean, I guess that's what makes this challenging is you kind of have to not only have a deck that you're playing well with, but you also have to have not bad stuff happen to you. So I was pretty confident in this one. I was pretty confident in my She-Hulk aggression deck last week as well. So neither of them seemed to work out very well. But thanks for joining me today. I think this was a fun one. I'm sorry I didn't get to show Ant-Man to his full glory. I really feel bad because it's so funny. I play these decks to prepare to play them live. I'm like, okay, testing the deck, testing them against different villains. Really, I think I'm going to go really far. I mean, it's so funny. She-Hulk Justice 2 weeks ago, I had not lost with that deck. And then, of course, I lose to Ultron live on the stream. I'd beaten Ultron 2 other times in preparation to like play it. Same thing with Ant-Man. I'd beaten all of these, heroes or villains before and never really had a problem with it. And then, of course, you lose to Claw, not even making it to Ultron. So it's funny. It's just the turn of the cards sometimes. Maybe when I'm on stream, I'm not making optimal plays. Maybe I'm cheating a lot more. You guys have caught me already today making a mistake, so maybe I'm just making more mistakes when I'm not playing on the stream, and so they're not getting caught, and so I'm winning in a cheaty way. I don't know, but whenever I run the Gauntlet, it's so funny because you think it would be easy to do, if you build a strong enough deck, and I've not gotten past Ultron yet doing one of these running the Gauntlets. So I will be fresher though when I play with Widow next time, because by the time I get to Ultron, I'll only have played one other game. So that might be the way to do it. Maybe that'll finally get me past Ultron. But anyway, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Look for Rocket on Friday. Look for Groot on Saturday. I'm going to do them both at 9:30 just to kind of keep my normal slots. 9:30 p.m. So I know it's a little bit late, but they'll be there forever. So feel free to go watch my first impressions on those. Steven, probably talking makes it harder. That is for sure. That definitely, trying to think everything out loud, not wanting to play too slowly to keep it interesting for everybody, that definitely makes a difference. So, but anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this week, and I will see you soon. Bye.